On this edition of the main attraction, we're going to be talking about getting ready to install these circuit breakers for power districts on my layout. Coming up. Hi, this is Mike with the main attraction, where our focus is what is on our tracks, namely our trains. We're here to learn as much as we can about model railroading and have fun in the process. I'm building my first layout, and so I invite you to come along with me on the journey. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do that and hit the little bell icon right next to that. You'll get notified every time I put up a new video. Today we're going to be talking about getting ready to install circuit breakers on my layout. These circuit breakers are going to break my layout into up to 4 different power districts. This is a PSX4 board made by DCC Specialties, and it has 4 separate power district circuit breakers. And my plan is I'm going to break the layout in half. At one end I'm going to have a yard, and then the 4th district will be to run my turnout switch motors, so that even if there's a short, the switch motors will continue to operate. So to get ready for that, this came with inputs and outputs to my track, but there's a lot of other places where wiring has to go. So I ordered some of these little switch terminals, and they actually have to get soldered onto the board like that. I'm not the greatest solderer. That's a nice word, solderer. I'm not that great of a solderer, so before I go ahead and do this, I don't really want to ruin these boards, because each one of these is about a $40 replacement. So before I do that, I'm going to learn to solder a little better. I went on Amazon and I found these little circuit boards. There's no circuits on them. The one side just has green circuit board material. The other side has connectors, so you can put resistors or transistors or wiring or whatever you're going to do there on that side. And I thought these were pretty inexpensive, so I thought I could get a couple of these and practice some soldering. So we're going to go over to the soldering station and take a look at these in more detail, and so I'll meet you over there. Okay, we're over here at the soldering station, and let me just show you around a little bit. This will be the piece that I'm going to be working on. We'll come back to that in a minute. I have 2 different kinds of solder here. I have this one is a .040 inch or 1 millimeter, and this one is a 0.6 millimeter, so it's much finer, and I don't think I can get a good shot of that in the camera that you can see them really, but very fine, and that's what I'll be using because this is pretty fine work. Then I have a little cleaner for my soldering iron, and I like to use that every 2 or 3 things that I'm doing, and some paste flux, and I also have some liquid flux that I'll be using to put on the work itself. Over here is my soldering iron, and that's part of a soldering station that I have, but the holder that came on the soldering station, for some reason the soldering iron doesn't fit in it very good, so I just use this unattached one. And then I have a little 2-hand tool or 3rd-hand tool that I'm going to use to hold the work so it doesn't wiggle around hopefully so much. So that's kind of what's here. And then I got these boards, showed it to you before, but here it is again. Took a bunch of my feeder wires. They fit perfectly through the little holes. Stuck them through. We'll be soldering those into place as we go. So I'm going to pin it into place so it doesn't wiggle on me. And then the bottom side, the bench is holding it, so that works great. And so I'm going to start out by cleaning my soldering tip again. Just dip it in the paste flux and then clean it so it comes out and it's nice and shiny. I don't know if you can see that very well or not. And I use a little micro brush that I got, dip it in, and I'm just going to put it on 2 or 3 of these joints right now to start with. The whole idea is for that to help the solder to flow into what I'm doing. So as I mentioned, the whole point of this is to learn how to be a better solderer and do this quickly, because when I actually get to the actual board, I don't want to fry it. It's too expensive of a board. So I'm going to start out, just put a little solder on my soldering iron tip. And then usually I just kind of wipe most of that off. Enough stays on there that it works. And then we'll start here. We'll start with this one. Hope you can see this. The reflection on this metal board is kind of tricky, but just touch that, touch the solder in. And what I learned is you're only supposed to be heating this for like a second and then melting it for a second and then you're done. And that was a little bit long there. So that's why I want to do this, because I want to get better so that I don't ruin my expensive board. So here's another piece. We'll try 1001. There we go. That one wasn't too bad. Try this one. 1001. 1001. I think that'll be okay. 1001. And then I'm gonna put a little bit more solder on it. So let me put a little bit more flux on a couple of these. And here we go again. 1001. 1001. See, this is longer than 1001. So. There we go. I don't know if you can see it, but from my angle, I can see very well when it actually melts the solder and flows in the joint. So I'm just going to keep up and finish the rest of these, and we'll check in when I'm done. Okay, I've pretty much finished those out. I don't think you can see real good, but I got a couple pictures here from my phone that I can show you. But the two things that we're looking for, one, we want to make sure that there's a little bit of a conical molehill or anthill around each one of these wires sticking up. And the second thing is we want to make sure that they don't overlap the hole that they're in. So that, there should be green, which is the color of the circuit board, around each one of those. And so then the next thing I'm going to do is turn the board over, take my little pliers, and I just want to pull on each wire and make sure that it's actually in there and it's not coming out. That tells me that I got a good connection. And of course the other thing you can do is on this side make sure that they all are silver. If they have a black spot in them or they're not all the way around each piece, then they probably aren't a great connection. So I'm just going to go through and just kind of tug on each wire and make sure that they're in all the way and they're staying in, and I think they all feel pretty good. They're not giving at all, which is good, because when I get to the real board I don't want the things popping out. They all look good. Some of these are a little bit long, so I would want to take my wire clippers, which I don't have here, and just snip them back so they're pretty short. So you can see some of these are a little longer, some are kind of medium, and one is really long. Maybe clip them back as short as I can get them with the wire cutters, and then we'll call it good. Okay, we're all done with this. I took my little needle nose pliers and pulled on each one of these, and they all held firm, so that's good. What I like to do is take a paper towel with some isopropyl alcohol, which I'm not using very much because I have half a bottle or so. Just take that and kind of go over and make sure that there isn't any flux left on the board or on the things, because flux, if you leave it there, it can cause corrosion or it can lead to not getting a very good connection, and I don't want either one of those. So I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Of course the alcohol will dry really quickly, so that'll be fine, and then just should be done. So they're cleaned up pretty good now, and I'm a lot more comfortable with how I've done on soldering, so I'm ready to go tackle the boards, and we'll look next time on how they turned out. So if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. Hit the little bell icon. We can get notified every time we put up a new video. If you like this video, appreciate getting a thumbs up, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll talk to you soon.